merong compensation ng mga war victims and mga residente po na na-displace. At syempre rin po yung rehabilitation po ay bahagi po sa isang prioridad ng ating Pangulo, Bongbong Marcos. And of course, it's not going as fast as we would like to, right? And the amount of money comes down in small trickles. And nung umiikot po ako, syempre, nakita ko yung mga dating temporary housing. Parang more or less, parang people are beginning to resign themselves to the idea of living there for longer times. No? But syempre, that's not our goal. We want them to be able to go back to their original residences. And when we visited, of course, yung Ground Zero, nung panahon na yun, ingat na ingat kami sa mga landmines, wala nang landmines, no? And meron mga developments kami nakita, like yung Rizal Park, nakita rin namin yung sports stadium and also the playground. That gives us hope, no? But there are more problems to be solved, and sa ganang amin, I'm convinced that the 19th Congress, we will all try to convince and lobby our colleagues to hasten itong rehabilitation work, and also, if possible, to increase funding so that finally, after 6 years, almost 7 years, ay mabigyan naman ng katarungan, no, ang mga taga-Marawi. Nagdaan na nga ho yung pandemya, and still we're more or less, no, we haven't gone that far, but despite the many achievements already, and hence our determination to work for the people of Marawi and the city.
Thank you, Kong Geraldine. May we hear from Congresswoman Margarita Nograles, please.
Good afternoon. Mayong hapon ka natin tanan. Una, no, magpapasalamat po ako. Nagpapasalamat kami sa nag-post ngayong hapon kay Canelago and Kong Zia. Kasi kailangan natin makita ang estado ng rehabilitation, especially that from the time that the law on the rehabilitation 2022 was passed. 5 years lang po yung given, and ngayon na we only have a few months left, less than a year, before the new Congress comes in, especially as part of the rules, as Deputy Majority Leader, kailangan natin tingnan kung mapapasok natin ang siguro kakayanin mag-legislate ng isang pang batas or ng bill, no, para kung kakailanganin pa to extend the time given and the compensation given sa mga nakita po natin today. Marami naman po nasabi si Chair Geraldine, and we also have the same insight. So sana po, this will become a very fruitful thing for us to bring back sa aming mga colleagues sa 19th Congress para pag-usapan at matingnan natin how else we can help. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Upfront, we would like to thank our Honorable Governor for hosting us today, and of course with the members of the House, and most especially to Congressman Zia. You know, upfront, let me tell you this. Lanao del Sur is very fortunate to have Congressman Zia Adio. He actually works very hard in Congress and makes it a point that the rehabilitation of Marawi will be hastened. If you remember, when the challenges of Marawi erupted, Region 10 was affected, and so was Cagayan de Oro City, the base and the capital of Region 10. And that our visit here today would hopefully be able to help Congressman Zia hasten the challenges of Marawi's recovery. The sooner Marawi recovers, the sooner also Region 10 and all parts of Mindanao, and hopefully the country as well will recover. So hopefully we're on break, CBD, and after we go back, it will be the State of the Nation address of the President, and that will also signal as the next budget hearing that we will be able to hopefully help Lanao del Sur, Marawi, and the provincial governor. Thank you very much.
Maayong hapon ka natong tanan, and to all of our brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamualaikum. I'm Congressman Chino Miguel Almario of Davao Oriental, and kung tanawon nyo nato, silingan po, Mindanaoan. And as Vice Chair of Mindanao Affairs, it is also very fortunate that we were able to visit. In fact, I was not yet in politics when the Marawi siege erupted. And now being in a position where we can practice our oversight functions, and as well as to look into matters of national security and also the ability of Congress to uplift and to craft legislations in order to make better the lives of the Filipino people, especially the constituents in Marawi City. It is an honor that we were able to visit, and we were hosted by Governor Mamital Adyong and also Congressman Zia Adyong, who is one of my first friends in coming into Congress. And rest assured that in the committee level, at least, I'm very sure that our chairman would also agree that we would also look into every possible action that we can take into hastening and also to aid in the efforts of Congressman Zia, because it may not be known to many, but si Congressman Zia works day and night to try to put Marawi on the spotlight in terms of its rehabilitation. And it is very admirable and very heartwarming to have a leader, a public servant such as Congressman Zia and Gov. Mamital Adyong to work tirelessly for the constituents of Marawi. So it is an honor, and if there are any questions as well that we can answer, please let us know, and we'll be ready to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Nandito po kami, mga miyembro ng 19th Congress, through the generosity and hospitality. Thank you, of course, to Governor Adyong and, of course, Congressman Adyong for having us here. We're here po from the 19th Congress here in Marawi City today under the direction of the leadership of the Congress through Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez to hear the people of Marawi and to see what has happened here. And siguro, a lot has been said already, but as an outsider, as a member of the minority, and a member from Luzon, kasi po ang mga kasama na dito, majority ay from Mindanao, it would be only Congresswoman Geraldine and I from Luzon. But what we can say is this, si Congressman Adyong is a very effective and hardworking advocate for Marawi. They are very lucky to have them. Monday to Wednesday po ang aming session, and not one day goes by that Kong Adyong does not mention, please come to Marawi. See Marawi. And today we made good on that promise. As much as possible, we would have wanted to have more of our members of the 19th Congress here. But due to logistical constraints, this is what we have. But we're very lucky to be here, and we see what we want to come across po sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Marawi, na naririnig po namin kayo, nararamdaman po namin na nararamdaman ninyo. We have seen what has happened here in Marawi, and you can count on the 19th Congress to continue to serve and take special note of what is happening here. Yun lang po. Salamat.
May we hear from our host, the Governor Adyong?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Magandang tanghali sa ating lahat. Unang-una, gusto ko pasalamatan ang ating mga congressman sa iba't ibang distrito ng Mindanao and Luzon. Nabigyan kami ng chance na madinig yung mga konting problema ng rehabilitation ng Marawi City. Matagal naming nire-requesto ng first hearing sa Congress na magkaroon ng hearing dito sa mismong MAA para makita naman ninyo kung ano talaga ang sitwasyon na nangyayari ngayon sa ground. Gusto ko sabihin na ang mga kababayan ko gusto na bumalik sa MAA, pero meron lang tayong konting problema tungkol sa mga patubig, kuryente, sewer system. Ang nangyayari ngayon, tulad na sa mga temporary and permanent shelter, yung iba na may kontratang 5 years, na-expire na po yan, at yung iba nagre-rent na po yan. Kaya kailangan na nating, kung pwede sa ating national government na madaliin ang pagbalik ng aking mga kababayan sa para hindi nung sila nagkakaproblema. Kaya yun no, ang gusto natin tugunan na mapabilis yung paglagay ng tubig at sewer system sa loob ng MAA. Thank you very much sa inyo lahat.
Now we're ready to receive your questions.
Mga kulit, due to our limited time, please direct your question, one question and one follow-up.
Can you identify yourself and your organization po?
I am Richard.
Ano yung pangalan mo?
I am Richard. I am Richard O'Neill of Philippine Daily Inquirer, BNR News, and Brigada News FM Iligan. Good afternoon. Welcome to Lanao del Sur and Marawi City. Moms and sirs, as we went through the site as high as Kapantaran Hill, we saw that water system and potable water system and sustainable electric power supply for the most affected area is still remains to be completed. And one of the factors may be that these factors triggered the delay of affected residents in occupying their respective temporary and permanent shelters. Ano bang pwede nating ma-recommend sa ad hoc committee for an action that accordingly, Defense Secretary Igo Teodoro suspend the completion or to pursue that water facilities as correct me if I'm wrong, it's a filtering and sanitation facility for potable water supply from Lake Lanao. May mga plano ba tayo sa ad hoc committee na para matugunan itong concern? Thank you, sir.
Well, water is very basic. No? It's essential to living. We already, initially, there was a tripartite memorandum of agreement between and among the Water District, LUA, and Marawi Water District and 103rd Brigade. Well, unfortunately, as the discussion went on, the DND felt that there's a need for to reprogram again what was agreed upon initially. Kasi ang position ng DND is that any establishment that will be placed within the perimeter considered to be part of the military camp should exclusively be used for military use. And that is now the problem that we are encountering. There's a expropriation case already filed, and I think it's ongoing. So we are I went to Secretary Gibo personally. I discussed this over with him, and there were a couple of representatives from the Office of the Solicitor General. And I just received a phone call a couple of days ago, I think 2 days ago, from Secretary Nasser Pangadaman. He's now the head of the he's a presidential advisor on Marawi rehabilitation, and hopefully this coming days, I'm not so sure whether on June 7th or I think June 7th, the Secretary Gibo will be coming over and to check the location where this bulk water facility is to be erected, because 30% of the project has already been accomplished. And sayang naman yung pera, nandiyan naman yung pera. So the marching order of the President, and this is also being supported by our leader, Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, that the final completion of the rehabilitation would definitely be spelled out once the people is reintegrated. The former residents of MAA are reintegrated, and that's the very objective of the rehabilitation. And a portion of that, the success of that reintegration is really water and power supply. So Secretary Gibo will be coming over on June 7, and along with Secretary Nasser Pangadaman, to discuss the expropriation, and we will deal with this if possible. We need the help of the LGUs, the province, and of course Marawi City to talk with other families, claimants. Ito pong area na to may mga claimants. So I think it's a welcome development on the part of DND, kasi gusto na nila din mapabilis at gusto din nilang magkaroon na rin ng settlement doon sa expropriation cases. So it's a very welcome development.
Magkano po ba, sir, if I...
I'm not so sure about the amount of the project, but we're talking about millions of pesos. Azek, no? Is it million or... would you like to join us here, Azek? Thank you. How much is the budget? Well, initially 30% lang na-accomplish, so we're looking at how much budget. Maybe Azek can give you the details. Azek Castro.
Yes, good morning. Two phases yung water natin, around 600 yung naman natin, 100 million yung susunod. But of course, yung the funds has not been consumed yet because the billing is only on a percentage accomplishment. So the funds are there. We have encountered some issues which were raised by DND, and this is being resolved. The DND is very open to this. In fact, they have sent a representative sana, but nahinto sa airport, nagka-problema yung sasakyan nila. But DND is very much into this. Secretary Pangandaman and Secretary Teodoro are looking into the possible solution dun sa legal problems of the expropriation.
Follow-up question.
Remember, yes, remember dalawang ano yan facility and ano. So maybe Chairman or Chairman Bambi Imano can also add something.
I think they were able to describe already and share with you the challenges of the water system. And I don't think that Secretary Teodoro is not amenable that we will be supplying water to the MAA residents. And we're on break, and I believe that after the break, we will be making a representation to the Speaker. And hopefully, the Speaker will be able to join during the discussion and be involved in on how we'll be able to settle the challenges of the water system that Marawi is facing.
Just a little follow-up sa power supply, Congressman. What's the commitment of Lanao del Sur Electric Cooperative? Hindi ba sila napoproblema sa pagpatuloy sa supply ng kuryente sa MAHA na mayroon pang financial problem?
Yeah, the problem of that is,
the
problem of that really boils down to the issue of debt, diba? Yung utang. That's why NGCP would not energize the substation there in Gadungan, precisely because of the utang that needs to pay by Lasoreco. And we actually approved on third reading yung condonation, not only Lasoreco but even the Magelco. So we approved on third reading, and we're very thankful to the members of Congress and of course Speaker Martin Romualdez, because this is first time ito nakapumasa, no? Itong condonation. The condonation would be the interest. Kasi kung titingnan mo, based on the series of discussion we had with Lasoreco and NEA, substantial yung utang, but if you reduce that, meaning if you minus the penalties from the surcharges, from other fees, etc., almost half ng utang ang mawawala. So it's malaking tulong yun. So malaking talagang tulong yun. So after the condonation, I hope with the new leadership in the Senate President Escudero will be able to file for their Senate version, because that would not turn into law unless there's a counter appeal that is also passed in the Senate. So we will lobby that. I hope my colleagues here will help me lobby that, because this will also tremendously affect the ongoing rehabilitation. Should NGCP decides not to energize that substation in Gadungan, it will definitely affect the reintegration of our displaced persons. No? So yung magkakaroon ng debt rearrangement dyan. So I still have to discuss this. Nagkaroon kasi ng Electric Power Summit, I guess, no, with pumunta dito ang NEA, and that's part of the discussion really is how to move forward amidst the challenges of debt and then Lasoreco needs to pay. Ang Lasoreco ata nagkaroon sila ng bagong acting general manager, but I have to sit down with him and discuss what's his plan on how to move forward. But that status quo really is nag-approve na tayo. And papakita lang natin na kailangan talaga itong ma-actionan. Dahil wala hong babalik dyan kung walang kuryente. Maniwala ho kayo sa akin. Ang kailangan ho ng Lanao del Sur is, I guess, nasa 70 megawatts. This is one of the also sa mga issues, kasi ang Mindanao generation ng NPC, they actually produces 700 plus megawatts ang Mindanao generation. What Lanao del Sur only asks needs in order to energize the entire province, including Marawi City 70+, but we are only getting less than 30. So kaya may mga brownouts tayo dito. So hopefully those are one of the challenges, and we need to I'm sure with the support of my colleagues here, we will overcome that, and we will discuss this with the new acting manager of Lasoreco to move forward. Ano yung plano nila. So any question? Can we move?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Pwede bang umiba ako ng issue? Congressman, ano po yung reaction niyo dun sa divorce bill na parang hindi in-approve ng Senate?
Wala pa naman voting nagaganap sa Senate, so let's not preempt the results there. No? There have been informal surveys conducted by certain members of the Senate, which point to parang technical tie, no? But we are hoping that as time goes by and more groups lobby for the passage of this very important bill, which will help mostly a lot of women who are victims of domestic violence, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. Something that will give them an option out of their toxic relationships and have a second chance at happiness. Habang umuusad po yung paglalobby, ay naasahan po namin magre-responde rin ng ating mga manamahal ng senador. You know, I've been hearing certain comments na sinasabi, okay, I'm happy in my relationship, but really, the divorce bill is not for those who are already happy in their marriages. In fact, if you are Catholic or Christian, alam ko naman dito sa Islam, divorce, kaya gusto namin ng kakangiti dito mga babae. I don't know why. Diba? So, we should remember that it's not about us, legislators, and our personal circumstances, but offering options to those who may need this legislative measure, this legal recourse, para po magkaroon ng second chance ng happiness. Dahil ito lang naman talaga ang divorce eh. Kilalanin na may mga relasyon na hindi na talaga uubra. Sabi nga ni Kong Edsel Lagman, yung principal author of the Absolute Divorce Bill, divorce is the merciful interment of a marriage that is long dead. Kumbaga, ang divorce will not destroy marriages. Kumbaga, kinikilala lang niya yung something that already exists kung wala nang pagmamahal at sinasaktan na one of the spouses. And as a chairperson of the Committee on Women and Gender Equality, I've met so many victims of domestic violence and abuse. And ito na lang pag-asa nila because it's affordable. Sang-ayon din sa divorce bill, ma-assignan ka if you cannot afford it, empower. At inaatasan din ang family court to resolve the case in 1 year. Tapos yung mga grounds are not difficult to prove. Kasi ang problem dun sa legal annulment, you have to prove that certain conditions did not exist or existed even before the marriage for it to be declared as null and void. Pero itong divorce bill, I would say, is more realistic kasi we're saying here na, yes, the marriage existed, but it did not work out despite all best efforts. So, nananawagan din po ako sa mga kasamahan sa Senado, kung maaari sana pakinggan nyo yung tinig ng napakaraming mga biktima ng domestic violence, ng abuso. Pakinggan nyo and place yourselves in their shoes. Hindi naman to yung happy na ako, bahala kayo dyan. Hindi tayo ganyan mga legislators. We legislate for those who may need this bill. And of course, sabi ko nga, if you don't believe in divorce, then by all means, don't file for divorce. Ganun lang naman yun. So, syempre sa amin sa House, naipanalo namin yung divorce bill at the ball is on the side of the court of the Senate now.
Ma'am,
may follow-up si Congresswoman May.
So, iklaro ko lang din, I think on the part of the Senate, more of their hesitation is sa technicalities na nangyayari. no, dun sa pag-transmit na hindi pa daw nag-transmit from the House. Today, there was, and our House leader, Speaker Martin Romualdez, has already given his stand that our Secretary General is the one who was mandated to transmit, kasi, and he is on official leave, on a foreign official mission. But once he comes back, i-automatic transmit na po ito sa Senate. And pag na-transmit sa Senate, Senate has a duty to receive it and do their process, which is the same as what we do in Congress po, na 3 readings din, and kailangan nilang deliberate yun. So I don't think they have really given a stand na hindi talaga yung ipapasa. Kasi kailangan bang pag-usapan din yun sa kanilang mga committees. But in terms of technicalities po, wala naman po mali sa House. It could be transmitted. Kailangan lang po talaga nandito sa Pilipinas ang ating Secretary General para siya po mag-transmit sa Senate. But there's already directive to immediately transmit it the moment bumalik po ang Secretary General. Thank you.
Ma'am, meron pong atake dun sa CBCP. Ano po yung sagot ninyo doon na ano daw?
Of course, I'm also a Catholic. And I do not expect the church to change its official stand on divorce. In fact, I expect them to defend, quote-unquote, the institution of marriage. But also as a Catholic, my conscience dictates that I cannot ignore as a lawmaker the plight of so many women who I have met personally. I don't think, ito lang po ang sinasabi ng konsyensya ko na sasabihin ko, pasensya ka na, yan ang pinili mong asawa, touch go yan. Magdusa ka. It doesn't work that way eh. Kasi kahit ba yung babae, napaka-virtuous, napaka-santa, napaka-loving wife, anong gagawin mo kung napangasawa niya parang mistulang satanas na nagkatawang tao? Will you tell that woman, no, stay in that relationship because this is what the church teaches? You know what? Even the church has annulment. Kaya nga lang, the difference is that the church, through this process, will declare that the marriage never existed. And sometimes, ako parang hindi ako naniniwalang ganun eh, lagi eh. But sometimes, you know, you just want to convince yung tribunal, no, ng simbahan, that yes, hindi talaga nag-exist yung marriage on the following grounds. Sometimes you have to lie, you have to falsify, no? Why can't we be brave enough to say na, hindi talaga nag-work out eh. In other religions like Islam, also in Judaism, the divorce exists, so it cannot be considered as something that is intrinsically evil, like killing a person, no? An innocent person. It cannot be on the same level, no? And I understand yung fears ng church na it might affect the family, but when you meet yung women who are in toxic relationships, and sometimes I see the children, I don't think that's a healthy environment for the children. Tapos sometimes nawo-weaponize pa yung mga anak. Ginagamit ng warring factions to get back at the other spouse, no? And that's not a healthy environment for the children. So sabi ko nga, divorce will not destroy marriages. It is the merciful, sabi nga ni Kong Edsel, interment, paglibing, ang mahabaging paglibing ng bangkay ng isang relasyon na matagal ng patay. So, yun ang pakiusap ko rin sa simbahan na hayaan mo ng options. May advice na lang, try convince the Catholic faithful, stick it out. Because in the end, it's the conscience of the people involved that will be followed. It's easy to say and sermonize and pontificate unless you place yourselves in the position ng mga taong apektado. Ang dali kasi magsabi na kung anong dapat, kung anong tama, kung anong mali, kung wala ka sa lugar ng taong naroon sa sitwasyon na yun.
Magandang hapon po. Big video from Goods Daily. Sir, kung mga congressman, tourism is isa yun sa mga generating income. Wala bang plano, bibilhin na lang yung portion dyan sa ground zero, portion lang, upang ma-preserve at gawing tourist.
Well, meron ng Peace Park po dyan. May Peace Park na po dyan sa ito po yung may portion po dyan sa barangay na yan na was converted into Peace Park. Yung reclamation area nga po dyan sa pinagawa na po ng grandstand, no? Grandstand, and we were able to visit that and see for ourselves kung in fact may merry-go-round nga, napansin mo, may merry-go-round.
Portion.
Parang MOA. So I think itong last na Ramadan na nakalipas, yan yung puntahan ng mga tao. Yes, so, but to ask you, yes, tourism is one of the major revenue generating, I think, an industry in the country, no? So, may mga local tourist spots naman tayo dito. It's just that kung walang tao dyan, hindi yan mapapakinabangan. Kaya kailangan talaga natin ng reintegration. And kailangan ng tubig, kailangan ng ilaw, at kailangan yung pondohan, kailangan natin pondo for the housing. We're very thankful, We're very thankful because we have here hardworking legislators, mga chairman po ng committee. And I'm sure the chairman of Mindanao Affairs will be able to hold one of the topics priority in this committee. Would you like to add on something, Congressman Raj? Yes, thank you.
Actually po, I can speak for the plans of the provincial government, the city government. But what I can say po siguro is that talagang kami bilang bisita, nakikita po namin yung potentials, sabi po ninyo, na yung tourism. Dumaan po kami doon sa Rizal Park, tapos yung Peace Park, nakita po namin, napakaganda. Nakita namin yung Grand Stadium na ginagawa. Nakita rin po namin yung Grand Mosque. And we see a very bright future for a better, stronger Marawi. Pero yun nga po, we have to focus on the rehabilitation. We see that there are problems and we are really eager to work together to lobby for this po. Ito po yung pinaglalaban talaga ni Kong Zia doon sa Kongreso at ngayon nandito kami. Nakikita po namin ito. So, yung all problems that we have with yung Marawi Rehabilitation Compensation Fund, you can rest assured po kami dito sa 19th Congress will be working on it. Pero just to stick to that question yung sa tourism, may potential po talaga, even as an outsider we see it, and we hope to work and help you with that.
Yeah, as one of the vice chairman on the Committee on Tourism sa House, at least to my knowledge, wala pa kaming natatanggap na movements or any proposals to create a tourism area here in Marawi based on at least what has happened before. But I think that it is also one way to pay homage and as well as to give respect to what has happened before and to turn it into something that would not only help the city but also to lighten the mood of all the constituents within. So there is like what Congressman Raj said, there is a potential for tourism development. Although we haven't received any yet sa House Committee on Tourism. If ever anyone would like to propose or file a resolution or a bill to develop it into a tourism area, then we can also discuss it in the committee level, and then we will update promptly.
Yes. Pagbalik doon sa 3 wishes ni Kong Zia na water, power, and housing. We were analyzing, parang the root of it all is that there seems to be a lack of agreement, no? As to, for example, the ownership of the land. So maybe from this point also, we commit to obtaining more funding and more attention from the national government for the rehabilitation of Marawi as well as the compensation. But I think it is also important for all stakeholders to be open to negotiations and to have the spirit possibly of compromise for the greater good and for long-term benefits. Kumbaga, maybe it's time to get together and talk. Kasi nga, bahagi ng solusyon din ay nasa kamay din ng, of course, nandiyan ang pamahalaan. Like, for example, you said yung PNP, baka naman ma-reconsider nila yung expropriation nila, but sinasabing technicality, but also maybe the residents, maybe a dialogue can be organized at the initiative of the city government, the provincial government. Basta ang importante nag-uusap para kung meron kaming maibabang pondo para sa compensation, rehabilitation, ma-implement. Kasi ang hirap pwedeng meet a stumbling block, like isang pader na hindi pwedeng umusad, hindi ka pwedeng magpagawa kasi hindi pumapayag yung mga claimants, parang masasayang din yung effort. But hindi kami ihinto, pagbibigyan namin ng pagdiin itong asuntong ito sa darating na budget season. We're facing the, malapit na yung final budget season of the 19th Congress. So, go na kami.
Very short. When I was governor for Misamis Oriental for 9 years, my flagship program was tourism. And if you talk of potential, the lake, it's endless, believe me. The weather, very conducive. Once all the challenges will be fixed and solved, I think the provincial, the city government will be able to develop the next phase, which is to bring tourists to Marawi and show the world that those days were done and the days of development are coming and the days of prosperous Marawi is coming. Thank you.
Hindi ka kandidato dito ha? Nakatakot ka na
Hindi ko.
Hello, good afternoon. Frank Rosete from Rappler. Sir, for Congressman Zia, sir, a local civil society group said that the claims received by the affected residents under the Marawi compensation is not enough considering the inflation. So as a representative of Lanao del Sur, sir, meron po ba tayong help to possibly maybe increase the claims?
Well, as to the increase of the budget, we can lobby, because this is budget season, and we can ask DBM to increase the funding. But also DBM would ask us again, what's the utilization rate of the MCB? Of course, they would have to compare how much the MCB spent versus how much do they actually need. Now, ang kailangan kasi, we just had a joint monitoring oversight committee. My counterpart in the Senate is Senator Bato. And we heard the complaints of some of the CSOs. In fact, most of the CSOs here in the province in Marawi City have been complaining about the devaluation of their possible compensation packages that they would receive. Now, I understand the point of the position of MCB because under the law, it says there that in Section 5, yung fair market value ang sinasabi. So they are actually tied up with how they were able to formulate their own actual packages that they will provide for structural damages, yung partial na nasira, yung death claims, I guess, nakabigay na silang death claims. So, ang ginagamit nga nila is yung fair market value as stipulated under the law. So they use the ordinance of the province because the ordinance of the province is per square meters, I think 9,000 versus yung sa Marawi City na I think 8,000, so mas mababa yun. Ang position kasi ng mga civil society organizations is that this mode of valuation standard, which is used for the fair market value, is actually being applied when there is an actual transaction happening. There's a willing buyer and there's a willing seller. So in this case, the compensation is a social justice piece of legislation. No? The word itself is compensation. So I guess that's the thing that we need to agree on. But me and Senator Bato have decided to revisit the MCB law and probably look at how do we able to find out and maybe to some extent find other options so that we can, sabi nga ni Congresswoman Geraldine Roman, to move to compromise. Because nothing can really happen if we don't compromise. Kailangan talaga, we need to understand that we are working on a very tight budget, working at a very tight schedule, because the MCB will only be good for 5 years. And that's the thing again that we need to revisit. Maybe we can extend that for another 3 years because if we base that on the amount and the budget that is being allocated each year for MCB, which is the bare minimum of 1 billion pesos, that would take us about 760 years to finish the rehabilitation. We do not want that to happen. So again, we would revisit that, and I'm planning to meet the CSOs. I also am planning to meet the members of the NCB separately and possible jointly. I do not want to make it a public hearing, or I want to have it as a focused group discussion so that mas maganda yung flow ng discussion so we can agree on something. Ultimately, the MCB want the rehabilitation to be over. And of course, the CSOs also want to get back to where they used to live in the MAA. So, pare-pareho ko kami ng gusto. Pare-pareho sila ng gusto. It's just that nagkakaroon lang ng misunderstanding. But the ultimate solution, I guess, is to revisit the law and find other options that we can agree on. Compromise the stakeholders and with the MCB. So, any follow-up questions? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. For Governor Adyong, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, kumusta po yung rehabilitation under the line agencies after the task to rehabilitate was transferred to line agencies after the abolition of Task Force Bangon Marawi? Kumusta po, sir? Is it faster now compared to the task force?
Maybe magbubuhat ng bangko si ASEC kung sa ano niya. So of course, sasabihin niya. At saka we put him in the awkward position kasi he used to be part of the Task Force Bangon Marawi, but now it has been dissolved, naging presidential. Maybe I can share something, no? That kami, matagal ko nang hinihingi sana, no? Na interagency, okay, yung interagency. But kasi yung based on our experience, minsan nagkaka-delay, and ASEC would agree with me na minsan kasi because of too much bureaucracy, medyo nagkakaroon ng problema because you need to put up all these agencies to agree on certain matters. Diba? Tapos ang umupo dyan, cabinet member din. So hindi yung cabinet member, hindi niya po pwedeng direktahan yung fellow cabinet member niya. It's only the president because the presidency, where the buck stops really is at the presidency. So it's a good thing now that because revisit nila, in-amend nila yung administrative order to put the rehabilitation directly under the office of the president. You don't have problem with funding, you don't have problem with, kasi presidente naman ang nagsasabi, oy, tapusin ito, tapusin ito. And versus doon sa dating setup na mag-usap-usap, everything goes to the meeting, everything goes to the, so maraming yung funding, So, baka tama yung sinasabi ko. So, tama, no?
Agree.
Okay. Agree.
Ang kaibahan ngayon, under the office of the president, na medyo mas mabilis yung coordination. Of course, kasi simula pa lang, kasi Task Force Bangon Marawi, actually ended yung pinakaano nila last April, under AO number 14. But with the Office for Presidential Advisor for Marawi Rehab, Secretary na siya Manandaman, and then open na siya. So, mas mabilis ang in fact, pag nagmi-meeting, sa Malacanang na nagmi-meeting, doon na pinapatawag yung mga agencies involved. The governor was there, yung first meeting namin, Congressman Adyong was there. At mas mabilis na, of course, initial pa lang ito, no? Initial mga meetings pa lang, what we expect na mas mabilis ngayon because diretso na tayo dun sa agencies concerned. Nabawasan yung mga involved agencies, may mga specific government agencies na lang na may proyekto ngayon na tinututukan natin. This does not mean na hindi magkakaroon ng new projects. There is an ongoing assessment, ano pa ba ang mga needs, at pag nakita yon, then there will be recommendations.
Sir, yung last operation, April 2024?
The Task Force Bangon Marawi actually ended operations last April 2024. Na-extend ng konti kasi pinapos pa nila yung mga reports nila.
I think we can only accommodate 2 kasi we still have public hearing. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. Ersel Mandig of PNA and PCC. I just want to shoot this question to ASEC de Castro. Sir, the objective of this the objective of this public hearing is actually reintegration of the rehabilitation of Marawi SEEDS. Now, is there any timeline as far as power, electricity, and the other revitalization of housing projects And may timeline ba tsaka deadline yung target ninyo na kailangan ma-accomplish?
Actually, lahat ito minamadali, no? Lahat ito minamadali, no? Tingnan natin yung deadlines. Lumagpas tayo sa deadlines, ano? Kaya nga binago yung setups. But as of now, wala pa tayong deadlines, but minamadali lahat yan. We are talking directly to the implementing agency involved para mapadali. But in reality, talagang napakaraming problema. For example, sa kuryente, while we have electricity in the most affected area, yung 20 kVA na substation, which is already completed, hindi ma-energize kasi may kasamang problema yung operations ng Lasureco. At pagka tinignan natin yung problema ng Lasureco, that is not solvable in a few months. Medyo mahaba-habang solusyon yan because yung problema naman ng Lasureco dates way back pa. No? So talagang no quick solutions. But ang aming pinapangako with the different agencies, with Secretary Pangandaman, and with the help of the congressmen and congresswomen na pumunta dito ngayon, ay talagang mapapabilis natin yung rehabilitation. Yung pagbabalik ng ating mga kababayan ay ini-encourage namin yon. Of course, may issues pa rin again. Yung tatlong sinasabi na yung tubig, yung kuryente at yung housing.
Itadagdag ko lang, in terms of deadline, kung ako tatanungin mo, matagal dapat nang expire yan. Diba? 7 years na kami nag-aantay. So, kaya nga kami nandito, si Congressman Almario, Congresswoman Nograles, Congresswoman Roman, Congressman Imano, Congressman Gutierrez. Kaya kami nandito because there's a direct directive from our speaker. Dapat yung national government na babagalan na gusto nilang fast track. Kaya kami nandito eh. To show to the whole nation, in particular Marawi City, that this under leadership of Speaker Martin Romualdez, this is part of the priority of this new administration. Gusto namin mapabilis. There's a marching order of the President eh, na pabilisin na yan. Kung tatanungin mo about deadline, matagal na yun dapat nag-lapse yan. So, but we cannot just, we're not pointing blames here. We have to work harder and, to make this expeditiously as we can. Process as expeditiously as possible. And we are very thankful that ASEC Felix Castro is still here with us. No, he's been here for 7 years. And we thank him for his service. Mas maranaw na siya kaysa sa ibang So, yes. And then question?
What will happen the 5 years contract sa housing almost ended?
Yeah, yung mga temporary shelters, I guess nag-start na rin sila, no? Nagre-rent na yung mga iba, may mga iba naman na pinag-extend nila. No? Kasi may mga lots dito ng temporary facilities na talagang private owned. So that's between the Yeah. Nag-interfere naman ang LGU Marawi with their barangay chairman, and I guess na-solve na yung problema dun sa may Bunganga. Okay na rin sa Bunganga and some other parts. So basically, ang ginawa talaga is ang Marawi LGU ang nag-intervene nito para mapag-usapan kung paano yung arrangement.
Okay.
Last question na po ito kasi may ano po kami.
Yes, John Enriquez of Forum News.tv. Aside from member of the media, I am also a member of the civil society in Iligan City. And we conducted a focus group discussion with regards to the victims of Marawi SAGE living outside Marawi. Now, they are telling us that they are not included in government programs because they are living outside Marawi. Kasama pa po ba rin sila sa compensation?
Kung residente po sila dito sa Marawi, kasama po sila sa nasiraan, kasama po sa compensation. Kung meron po silang kamag-anak na namatay, kasama po sila sa compensation. Kung may mga assets po sila dito sa Marawi na nasira, ari-arian na nasira, negosyo na nasira, kasama po sila sa compensation. Any final word? Okay, so I guess that's our last the question. So, yeah.
By the way, Kong Zia, pasalamat po tayo sa Armed Forces ng Philippines, Philippine National Police for taking good care of us. General, thank you very much. And of course to the provincial government, to the capital provincial employees, thank you. And all those who made our, hopefully, visit and ocular successful. Maraming salamat.
So anyway, so maraming salamat po for our media partners for joining us today. Again, ako personally, kami po ng aking kapatid, si Governor Bongbit Alonto Adyong, nagpapasalamat po kami una kay Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez dahil siya pong nagbigay ng direktiba sa amin. Pangalawa, nagpapasalamat po kami sa mga congressmen and women na nandirito. Isipin niyo po, galing po sila ng Bataan. Sinindi po kami ngayon, brave po kami ngayon, pero they choose to be with us today and to visit the sites. Nagpapasalamat po kami, of course, sa ating mga partners like the PNP. Kanina po sinabi ni Congressman Bambi Imano sa PNP at saka sa mga barangay chairman po na sumama po sa amin. We thank the President for giving a direct marching order that Marawi City should be prioritized and rehabilitation should be prioritized, and the eventual reintegration of the people of Marawi, especially in Marawi, should be prioritized. Again, I would like to mention the names. Congressman Chino Almario, daghang salamat. Congresswoman Mix Nograles, daghang salamat. Congresswoman Geraldine Roman, marami pong salamat. Congressman Bambi Imano, daghang salamat. Congressman Rog Gutierrez, maraming salamat po sa inyo pong lahat. Maraming salamat po. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.